everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. What is she going through? Jesus
She a little
Christ.
hype today.
Oh,
Probably because she just finished from eating some cat. That's what she looked like.
Ooh.
ain't never touched that, honey.
Did
I
you have
don't
to
even
sell
eat.
it?
I don't, so what? You ain't never got this Tony the Tiger.
Oof.
Oh.
Okay.
Y'all are on one today. I cannot.
Welcome
Y'all are
back.
back. Right. Well, how is everyone's week going so far?
Pretty good. I can't complain.
I'm
Okay.
alive. I'm above ground. The devil
Man,
is very
listen.
busy.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast. I am your boy, Poe Theory.
I'm the second lead vocalist, Jared.
Well, I guess I'm no one.
I mean, you could be Latavia if you like.
Bitch, I'd rather be
First of all, we gonna stop this Michelle slander.
No,
Yeah,
we
we
love
love
Michelle.
Michelle.
No, we do love Michelle. No, we do. She had that one little incident. Everybody just, you know what I'm saying? She slipped and fell. And
Meanwhile,
everybody killed her.
Beyonce has had the same incident.
Worse.
And
The way she
Yeah.
when she tumbled down those stairs, yeah.
Jesus.
that
And
was
then when she
bad.
said, please don't put it on YouTube. So as you guys know, normally when you guys get this episode or you get that lovely notification, oh shit, everybody just calm down, the podcast just posted a video. Let me see what they talking about. It's Beverly Hills all day. But of course, as you know, Beverly Hills is no more until next year. We are heading into our hot topics part of Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast. This was a goal of ours in the beginning anyway, but we can now dive into our hot topics episodes. So guys, I don't know if you have heard, I guess I've been under a rock just with all the political things, but the fact that this happened in my backyard kind of blows my mind. So let's get into it.
You clean that up well.
The bodies of twin brothers found in Pounds County near the North Carolina line, 90 miles from their home in Lawrenceville. The GBI initially investigating this as a murder-suicide, but tonight the family says they're not buying it. 11 Alive's Cody Alcorn spoke with them just a few hours ago. He's live for us in our newsroom with more on this investigation and what the family has to say, Cody.
Well, Jennifer, the brothers Kydir and Nazir Lewis were twins. The GBI says a hiker found their bodies at the top of Bell Mountain on Saturday morning. Both had been shot. The family couldn't believe it when they got the call hours later, knowing the twin brothers were supposed to be in Boston visiting friends.
We want answers. We want to know exactly what happened to the twins.
Nazir and Kydir Lewis,
Those my nephews.
just a few weeks shy of their 20th birthday.
I can get past it. They're gone.
The twins' uncle, Raheem Bronner,
They're very protective of each other. They love each other. They're like inseparable. So I couldn't imagine them hurting each other because I never even seen them get into a fist fight before.
I don't even know how I missed this story again with it being in my backyard. I just so happened to be watching the Joe Budden podcast, and he wasn't even talking about this. He just slightly brought it up because he was talking about the Carmelo Anthony trial that's happening in Texas, and he lightweight brought this up, which kind of piqued my interest. So essentially, these young boys, which they're from Lawrenceville, Georgia, ended up 90 plus miles on the top of a mountain, both shot. How the hell does that happen? The GBI is essentially saying that it's a murder-suicide. I'm not believing that. For one, they said that the boys had plane tickets. They were set to fly out to Boston to see friends. All things showing that it doesn't really seem like they were planning on unaliving themselves.
Right.
Something in the Milk Ain't Clean. I looked at the demographics of that area. Not a black in sight. Something seems really off. Your thoughts, Jared?
I think it's just so unfortunately typical for them to quickly label this a murder suicide. Like, I'm just really questioning, like, how did you come to this conclusion so fast? Like, what is the motive? What were they going through? Like, what would be the reason behind this? You just walked up this mountain, saw two black boys that had been shot in a majority white area, and of all things, you labeled it a murder suicide. It makes no sense to me. My first question when I heard this story too was, I think one of the aunts mentioned, what the hell were they even doing in the mountains? Like, she
Right.
said, they don't even go to this area. They don't hang out to this area. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Everything to me is saying like abduction or something of that nature, which I feel
Yes.
like,
Mhm.
any typical brained person, that's what you would think first, not a murder for two teenage boys that live miles away from this location.
I agree 100% with what you're saying, Jared. First order of business is, what were you doing on a North Carolina state line when you're from Lawrenceville? So that's number one. And again, why isn't this random stranger, the hiker that found them, why isn't he being questioned? Why have we automatically ruled him out as the person who just found? Why can't he be the murderer? And
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
and with that being said, also too, I don't think we're even with the news clippings, there aren't enough news clippings of proof that they were trying to go somewhere else. Where's the plane manifesto? Where are the tickets that showed them boarding or showed them in the vicinity of, because chances are you were flying out of Atlanta Hartsfield Airport. Carolina ain't nowhere near that airport. So you were actually going in the opposite direction. So it's giving rideshare gone wrong, or something in between had to happen, because when they were supposed to be leaving to go somewhere and that destination never happened.
There are, even with you asking those questions or bringing up those questions, it only goes to show how many holes there are with this story. If first of all, they were flying, I read in some article that they were supposed to fly out of Atlanta.
Right.
Lawrenceville is north of Atlanta already.
Mm-hmm.
Then you go 93 miles further north.
Mm-hmm.
That it just doesn't make sense. And again, when you think about, let's say it is a unaliving, taking your own life thing that the GBI is trying to say that it is. How did they find that place?
Right.
Especially when the family says they've never been there before. Why did they choose that place?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And also, like they said, no history of violence towards each other. Why? Like, it's just, there's so many unanswered questions. I did see just another piece of this before we move on. There was another piece just recently came out. Let me read this to you guys about a firefighter. Apparently, a firefighter from the area, I guess, charged with search and rescue or recovery, he basically just got a misdemeanor charge for taking photos of the boys and linking them online.
Taking
That is
photos of
their
what?
corpse. Their corpse.
Mm-hmm.
Like the cops did in the Kobe situation.
Right.
But that's literally the only information that we have. That's it. It's like, this is the situation. The GBI has said it is a unaliving, taking your own life situation. And then all of a sudden they're basically with this firefighter. Nothing in between. Nothing sounds above board here. I don't know if the FBI needs to come in.
Yeah,
Someone,
I would
yeah.
think so.
Something. Go
And
ahead.
also too, when I know when in situations like this happen, I think the family needs to step away from the state. There needs to be a private autopsy done, not done by the state, because it could be tampered with already anyway.
Which has not been released yet.
Which is weird, because
It's been a
now
month. Over a month.
It's been some time now. Those are normally released within the week. You're not the coroner ain't that busy, and wherever they at, he's not seeing that many bodies. So again, those two should have been flown back. All should have been well. They need to hire everything from this family needs to be private, needs to come from private, nothing from the state. And unless they're going to FBI route, because I wouldn't trust that town. I wouldn't trust Lawrenceville handling it, and I definitely not trusting the town 90 miles away.
The one thing I do want to point out is that you would think that because they're not using local law enforcement to investigate, them using GBI, it does give it a little bit more clout or more trust because it is it's a state-led investigation unit.
Right.
But this, come on, guys, we don't do this. No offense to the other races, but this is not what we do.
Yeah.
So
and
go
not
ahead,
in the
Jared.
especially not in the mountains of all.
In the mountains.
Yeah, no.
Like that made no sense. One last thing I just want to say. In response to the incident, the family launched a GoFundMe campaign to cover funeral expenses and to advocate for a more thorough investigation. They have also initiated a social media campaign using the hashtag Justice for Qadir and Nazir to raise awareness.
Ben Crump need to be called.
Somebody, but rest in peace, boys, because that's extremely sad.
Sad. Hate to see that.
Well, time to liven it up a bit.
It was dark, honey. We could have never ended with that one. Ooh, that was so dark.
Oh, yeah.
Now back to Lion Mia.
Okay, so moving on to a little bit lighter news, because to be transparent, I'm a master at disassociating myself from real life news. Word on the street is that season 10 of Real Housewives of Potomac is officially underway. However, with that being said, in case you missed it, this past Monday, Mia Thornton announced that she is no longer participating in the upcoming season of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Now, Mia did star on the show for 4 seasons, and whether you like her or not, you could say she did make an impact. However, Mia has stated that after relocating to Atlanta, she would not be participating in the upcoming season. Of course, she did the whole shebang, thinking Bravo, Trulo Original, blah, blah, blah. We don't know. Of course, with Housewives, Bravo gives them the opportunity to announce their own exit, leaving it up to our own speculation whether or not she was fired or she quit on her own. Guys, thoughts on Mia leaving? Danielle.
Girl, don't nobody care about you leaving. First of all, coming soon, I thought she was pregnant. That looked like a pregnancy announcement. So I didn't know what that was. Well, she got 2 men. I don't know.
That's
Hello?
true.
So again, we actually don't care. And you and your lies, you were already, where were you? I don't even know if that's that's not even bi-coastal. You were already crossing state lines to film in Maryland and living in Georgia, girl. So again, good riddance to you, girl. I hope your blended family, everything works out. Yeah, no love lost. I actually didn't miss you at all, and honestly, I hope to God that you aren't trying to tippy toe yourself over to hold a peach, honey, because if you hold a peach, then we're gonna have other things to speak about. So again, ta-ta. Avita.
Did you just say Avitasin? I cannot. So for me, I think it should be no shock to anyone. I know any of our viewers, we only did the finale, the reunions for Potomac, but I'm so happy that Mia is gone. She and Jacqueline was declassing the show. I not only blame Mia, I blame everyone on that show for making her feel like she was that girl. I'm so happy that she's gone. She can't possibly think that she could come to Atlanta. She can't possibly think that.
No, I do. She thinks she can.
No, that's ridiculous.
I do have a follow-up question on that note. So first of all, same. I think I really enjoyed Mia her first couple of seasons. I think she had a lot of potential. I think this last season she flamed out really quickly. And to your point, Aaron, I really think the reality TV machine, the fame, everything just ran her, and she didn't know what to do with it. With that being said, I was listening to Carlos King's podcast today, and Dustin Ross was on there, and they were discussing this. I know. Yeah, thanks.
He is fine. Okay, sweetie.
He mentioned,
I've seen him in person in New York a couple times when I lived there, and
is he really that fine in person?
I can just listen
and
to
that
him
new
talk.
Lofty boy too in New York is everything too, by the way.
Wow. Well, do you want to just suck his dick while we're on the air, or
right?
Yeah.
And Justin, come in.
Hello. Anyway, Justin mentioned, which I kind of, I was like, that, Mia does obviously have a personality and she is a good reality star. And as opposed to Real Housewives of Atlanta, maybe she should attempt to make a move to Love and Hip Hop Atlanta. And I said, maybe that is a better fit for her.
it's a better fit for her, but no one, you'd be crazy to do that.
Yeah, you wouldn't back.
Well,
No one ever.
she's crazy.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, but I feel like she has such a major, what is it called? Delusion, grandeur, illusion of grand. Yeah, I feel like she thinks that she's hot shit, and she understands. Everyone understands that Bravo, especially Housewives, is like the top. It's the upper echelon
Of
of
reality TV.
of
Yeah.
women ensemble reality TV, and then here's Basketball Wives. So it's like, to me, it's Housewives, and then it's Basketball Wives. For me, she would never do it. I can't see her doing it. Now, competition shows, will we see her in Traders? I definitely could see that.
Okay. I can see that, but I don't see them for Mia out of all the other housewives for Trader. The only reason why I would say yes and no, I still don't put her on with conflict resolution on Traders. Like, I'm not seeing her figuring it out. I still feel like they've put housewives on there that we know can break down. Mia's not one of those people. So that's why I would say yes and no.
They put Iman on there.
That's true.
But
Chanel on there.
But they put her on there as a fluke. That was a joke. That girl, we couldn't even understand what
why can't Mia be a joke?
Well, that's fair.
She is a joke.
She is a joke. That is fair. No, that's fair.
Mia is a joke.
I do agree with you though on the thinking that she is above the Love and Hip Hop of the world. I do see that. But also again, depending on what the coinage looks like when you move down to Atlanta, because again, because you have this delusion of this grand gesture lifestyle that you think you have, you can get down to Atlanta and realize, oh, the girls actually have some serious coin down there. You're there full time now. It's different from going back and forth. You're there full time. Now you need the mansion. You know what I mean? You want to send all of your kids to all the specialty schools where everyone else is. So that could actually get to her head and kind of push the narrative. Because again, the seed has already been planted that you move to Atlanta full time. You're trying to get on Atlanta Housewives. And the fact that they already brought new people on, that gives you kind of a shoe in. Like, okay, she's already a housewife on another show. She'll be the first one to cross over. You ain't gonna be it, girl.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm like 50-50 with you all. I see what you're saying about her definitely thinking she's above it, but I also can't picture her saying no to a camera.
That's fair.
Now, continuing on with Real Housewives of Potomac season 10, there's been rumors for the last couple of weeks after Candiace made this post of her at NBC Universal that Candiace's return is imminent. There were follow-ups after this that she had officially signed on. None of this has been confirmed by Candiace or anyone by Bravo, but this is the word on the street. Personally, I love Candiace, and she has always been one of my favorites on Potomac. And even when she announced her exit, I did assume at some point she would be back. However, I think this may be a bit soon. I think maybe it should have been one more season off. I don't want the show to move backwards as far as like her coming in, beefing with Giselle, etc., etc. If she is going to come back, I'd like to see it more of a Wendy and Giselle situation where there is a hard reset and a definitely move forward. But that's just me. What do you guys think?
I will say I agree. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Whenever you do it, just always call out who you want to go.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
But go ahead,
So
go ahead.
What do you think? Baseball hat?
Oh, which one, bitch?
I was like,
which one? I'm like, I didn't know who to talk, bitch.
Bro or broski? Wait. So what I will so I agree to disagree. I think yes, we could have lasted one more season if she is allegedly coming back. We could have lasted one more season without her. Now, let me say this, due to the revamp of the show and how we know it's going to go, because we know we don't have Karen. We know we don't have Mia, right? So we're already looking to fill up the shoes on who is either going to return or come back, right?
Don't forget Jazzy. We don't have Jazzy either.
We don't have Jazzy anymore as well, which I actually, again, she was lying too much for me, not knowing who the baby father, when the child was born. That was weird to me. So yeah, anyway, you don't have these people, the core members of the cast. And so, and also I feel like at this time in Candiace's life, which we know she stopped the show really to truly focus on her becoming a mother. We know that's all she truly wanted to do. And now that she actually has this, she looks like she's in a great space with her husband and her family. I think that she's able to allow the cameras back into this personal space now. And I think she's more in control of what we're seeing as far as the family aspect as well, and then what she's doing. I just don't want her to record that song again. That was from a couple of seasons ago. Now, I don't want to hear that, and don't remix it again. But
Drive
I do
back.
want you to come back. I don't like it.
So as a person let's be very fucking clear. If there is any housewife that I could say that I am most like, that is my spirit animal, it would be Candiace Dillard Bassett. I love
You do
Candiace down. Do you hear me? Down.
You do.
You know, we've had our little DMs from time to time. You know, that's my girl. That's one. Two, I disagree with Jared. Well, I don't disagree with what you want, which is you don't want her to come in and bring the show backwards. Candiace is very smart, in my opinion. Not in my opinion. Candiace is very smart. And so she is very well aware, even if Giselle is on the same BS, I'm more than sure that she watched last season and has seen how the tide has turned for Giselle, for the people that disliked her. Even though, in my opinion, Candiace has been 100% correct and right in everything that she's done against Giselle, she still can't go in there. Even if Giselle gives her that same energy, she cannot go in there giving that same energy, because they're going to say, well, see, it's Candiace. Candiace, see, we knew it. We were right. Candiace was the problem. And I have faith to know that Candiace knows better. She's not going to go in there with that type of energy. Yeah. Where I do see a potential issue creeping up will be her and Wendy. I think there will be a problem there. And the reason I say that, very similar to what I just said about her and Giselle, she have a beef with Giselle. It's very clear and easy and cut through to see, like, all right, Candiace, you might be the issue, even though we know she's not the problem.
Right.
But she's going to have an issue with Wendy and how quickly Wendy just kind of was like, oh, yeah, we're cool now. Like, it was very pick-me-ish. And so she may not express it, but it will come out in some other type of debacle or altercation. But needless to say, I am extremely happy for her to come back.
Yeah, now that you mentioned that, I mean, I would kind of hope for that, to be honest. I mean, one, at least we'll get new beef. And two, I feel like Candiace and Wendy aren't even matched, so I wouldn't be mad at it.
I was just getting ready to say that, because remember, we've talked about Wendy and how she kind of dismantles these women, but it's not even it's not even a good fight, because you having a war of words with these buffoons. It's not the same. It's not the same.
She's right. Because this is something that I've always said about Potomac that bothers me so badly, and this is where I think we can honestly say this is where editing and production, and when production is not on your side when it should be on the right side of things. Not to dive into colorism, but if you look at all of the light-skinned women on that show, and then you look at the dark-skinned women on that show, which we would say would be Candiace and Wendy, right? Mm-hmm. On the light-skinned side of it, you have Ashley, can't find her way out of a paper bag, who still has her husband's name on a mortgage, who essentially got nothing out of a prenup. You have Karen, who is in jail for DUIs. You have Giselle, who can't keep a man. No businesses to stand on. Yeah, she went to Hampton, but that was years ago. Oh, really, God. We love her kids for her. We had Robin. It's Rob.
Who?
It's Rob. The most accomplished, well-spoken, smart women on that show are the ones of darker hue, and they are the ones that have been dragged through the mud as being aggressive, argumentative, and all of these things. But
Even Nika, remember her? She was
who's that?
pretty.
Who?
What's her
Did you say?
name?
Neck.
Did you say
What's her name? What's her name? Nika.
Necka.
Nyeka?
Yeah.
Nyeka.
I'm sorry,
Nyeka.
y'all. Shout out to all my Nigerians. But again, even her, they dragged her. She wasn't my favorite, but they dragged her. And again, another just to your point, another
Another
very
pick me.
successful. Yeah.
But no, but
and-
she didn't
yeah.
get dragged. She was a pick me. She was with the other people.
But then she got dragged afterwards. So where she
By
can never
who?
return. Well, they actually didn't drag her.
She got
Social
dragged.
media dragged
Yeah,
her.
it wasn't like
Yeah.
that either.
Yeah.
Well,
No, that's
Wendy was
fair.
a bitch to her too.
Right,
Well,
but Wendy also wasn't with the other crew that NECA was
that's
cool
fair.
with.
Yeah,
That's
but Wendy
fair.
also didn't want Nick on that show. So
Mother did that spell. She did that spell on her mom. She said that lady did a damn voodoo spell on that lady mom.
Child, I cannot.
Shabana. Okay. Shabana, everyone's favorite girl right now, Onijah Robinson. She actually recently did her first official sit down with as close as we're gonna get to a real sit down with Onijah Robinson. So she sat down with the team of the Shade Room, and she basically denied having mental health issues. She spoke on the relationship with her husband, who she was with in Pakistan, who went to Dubai, as well as also having two children who are in the United States. Um, this this was a really interesting story to me because I actually watched it twice. So that's number one. I was like, wait, what? I'm not understanding. First of all, so she speaks about her time and how all of these alleged stories were coming out about Onijah at the time when she was in Pakistan, and she made such this huge impact of wanting $20,000 a week and land. Also telling us that her husband, indeed, we've never seen a marriage license though yet. We have not seen a marriage license, but she is saying that the young man who was 19 years old is indeed her husband. He went to Dubai, which is why she kept talking about Dubai. She's saying that she was never locked up. She was never held against her will while she was in Dubai. There were a lot of reports that we didn't hear from her, right? For a couple weeks, I would say. There were a lot of reports that she got to Dubai, and everyone knows the EA laws are super crazy. And they were saying that she was actually locked up due to her causing a ruckus in public, essentially. She's now saying she had an issue with her visa. Now, we had to fact check that. United States citizens don't need a visa to go to Dubai. So, this was the first issue in this particular interview that struck my interest. You don't need a visa. Okay.
What do you need to go?
Nothing.
a passport.
You need a passport.
Yeah, but
Isn't a visa a passport?
What she's saying was she needed a visa to even go into Dubai from Pakistan, which is a lie because she has a United States passport. She would not have needed that, even if she was
Yeah,
coming
visa-
from.
Oh, like a
Yeah.
special,
Yes.
because she was coming from Pakistan. And
Correct.
Pakistan, got it.
So we know that is a lie because as long as she is a United States citizen, her passport, as long as the passport is valid, she does not need that. So that was strike one
Gotcha.
in the interview, right? So strike two, the interviewer then goes to say, well, they said that you were detained. She's saying she was not detained. She was not in a holding cell, which again, if you're detained, I don't know what detention looks like in other countries, but I'm assuming you're away from people. You're locked away. She then goes to say she is still married. She was able to get everything squared away. She asked her about her two children, which live in the United States. Number two, red flag. She has a 17-year-old son who does live with her, quote unquote. But then she has a second child who the father has full custody of.
Okay.
That also was a red flag to me. So what I want to know from you guys from this entire, I guess, Onijah phenomenon, do we really think that and here's another little part too. They asked when they spoke back on her mental illness, they said, what were you doing at the hospital in Pakistan? She said she was getting blood work. She was anemic. My question to you, Aaron, do we think that Onijah played us as a fiddle. There's nothing wrong with her. She just put a good New York charm on people. Or do we think that there's an actual mental health issue here? And where do we go from here?
I want to be progressive and say, no, she's just different from what we deem as normal. But the part that I'm leaning on is I could get that off if she found herself in middle America in some small white town where she's the only black person there and she moving like that. I could give you that. But to do Pakistan?
Yeah.
Pakistan?
Yeah.
Like, come on. Something is not right. And I fear that we are about to have a situation where it was all fun and games and like we're laughing like where our girl at, and then with her doing this interview, because before we've only had people on the street walking up to her and asking her to repeat her slogans.
Right.
With so many different custody arrangements, that sounds like mess. That sounds like people coming out and speaking their speech. And I'm just afraid of what we're going to truly find out, or at least the allegations that could possibly come out against our lovely Onijah, where our slogans that we love to say may not be as lovely to say when we find out the type of she on,
Not talking
unless you're giving me land.
And 2,000 or more every week. You hear me?
That's what I'm saying.
So,
you hear me?
Yeah. Do you agree? Mind your business. So you know what I mean? So I do understand. I do understand that. Jared, what's your take on it? I agree with that 100%, Aaron.
Well, first of all, I'm so grateful that we're finally getting answers directly from Onijah and that she sat down with such a reputable team of journalists, such as the Shade
Grateful
Room.
is crazy. Grateful is crazy, but carry on.
To be honest, I think she's a nut job. I believe the original story is pretty much. I think that Onijah was talking to some random online. I don't think they're legally married because I don't know how that happens overseas. I think that she went to meet the man. I think that she probably lives in the land of Delulu, and I think that she loves all this attention and all the fame that she's getting, and we're giving it to her. In this day and age, social media and the internet can make anyone famous. Still waiting for that to happen for us. But this is it's 2025. Yeah, what is that? That's what I was. What is this?
So I didn't ask my son, my 12-year-old. They do this in a picture. Apparently, this is like a tri-state thing where it's just like what's up kind of thing. It's like Goonie. It's weird. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah,
kids do it.
I think, like I said, I think she's a nut job. I think she's soaking up the 15 minutes of fame. And, good for her. I think this time next year, we won't be talking about this and we will probably forget that she was around until, one of those I Love 2025 specials comes out and then they flash back to her.
No, that's fair.
No, that's fair. No, that is fair. I love 2025. No, that's fair. I think for me, the red flag in the interview was the losing of the custody. I don't think I like that at one bit.
Of the younger kid?
Yes, that I think really, because that shows me that the older son was the one speaking on the mental health.
He was.
Because she said, so you see what I'm saying? And at 17, a child 17 and 2025 is literally an adult at that point. You know what I mean? You may not have the mental capacity as being an adult, but let's be real. You're doing the same shit as an adult would do. So that's strike one. And then strike two, like I said, as far as losing custody, again, I have custody of both my kids. But in the state of New York and New Jersey, I don't know where it is and anywhere else, it is extremely hard for a mother to lose custody of a child. Full custody, it's almost unheard of. You either literally have to have a toe tag on, or you were deemed so unfit that a father had to come in and swoop down. I want to see the baby father. I want him to come out.
No. And then to your point, she admitted in this interview, or she claimed in this interview that he's 17, that he lives with her. You as a mother with a 17-year-old non-adult that's living with you, why are you flying off to Pakistan for some man you met on the internet and then choosing to spend another month or whatever in Dubai? Who has your 17-year-old? Like, what's going on?
Oh,
Right.
fair point.
That's fair. No,
Fair point.
you right.
All right, guys. So it is time for our favorite part of the show, and I know y'all thought, wait, they not doing the show, so who the hell they gonna tell everybody just calm down for? And guess what? Anybody can get it when it's the hot topic show. It can be your mama. It could be a celebrity. It could be your great goddaughter. It could be anybody. Great granddaughter. Is that how it goes? That's just a tongue twister. But anywho, let's get into it.
Everybody, just calm down.
Girl, just calm down. Girl, I'm going to update it. So, who needs to calm down for me? It's going to be Oprah's muncher, and that is Gayle King. We are living in a world of extreme inflation. What? Too much? But we are living. Oh, you definitely not a muncher. What munching was that? But we are living in a world with extreme inflation. 401ks are looking crazy. People are losing their jobs. Social Security is on the line. And when people are literally expressing that, Gayle King, who lives in Montecito with millions of dollars, in response says, well, have you been to space? No, Gayle. Eggs are $45. Like, who says that? Like, how out of touch can you be? Help me understand this. Oprah is my girl. I've read everything about Oprah. My first ever book report was on Oprah. So by proxy, I know a lot about Gayle. Gayle, you ain't really start making money till your 30s. So how are you out of touch like that to make a response like that? Oprah, I can give it to because we know how much money Oprah has given.
Right.
But Gayle, like, I ain't been right with you since that Kobe.
Ooh. You know who got to calm down for me. So I don't know if you guys heard about it. New Jersey's actually been under fire with the wildfires. Down by the shore. Yes, they actually shut down the entire parkway. From spanning like 40 exits essentially. So from like exit like 60 down to like essentially like exit 20 or whatever like that. Anyway, long story short, I need the New Jersey wildfires to calm down because everybody who's trying to go to the shore, we're getting really nice weather. Don't nobody want to be trying to take no Hicktown back roads to get to the shore. We need to take the parkway down. But if you're shutting down the parkway, there's no way for us to get down there. I can't ride through them Hickville towns. Those are sundown towns. Let it not be known, but I'm scared to drive down them. So you know who needs to calm down? The fires. I need you to use them tax dollars that we pay all that money for and put them out.
Well, okay. And she means it. We really do need it when we say anybody can get it. When it's a Hot Topics episode. Anybody or anything, apparently.
Mother Nature, you got it. Now cut it out.
So for me this week, I'm going to switch this up. So it's going to be, I know we talked about Atlanta already this week, but I want Angela Oakley to calm it down a little bit on social media. In case you missed it, Angela posted a throwback picture of her and Wendy Williams, allegedly from the night that she shared that. Whoa. So Knight agrees that Angela needs to calm down. But Angela shared a picture of her and Wendy Williams from apparently that night where she shared that news with Wendy Williams about Charles that's becoming fodder now in the current season. Angela, we love you because you stand on business. If that's the case, just stand on business. Don't play into it on social media. Relax a little bit. Let's have it play out on the show, not on Instagram. Thanks.
Ooh, touche.
That was a very nice, nasty thanks.
That was nasty.
Very nice, nasty. But anywho, guys, I hope you enjoyed this Hot Topics episode of Everybody Just Calm Down, the podcast. We truly enjoyed bringing in a new vibe to the show, which will continue. This is not just a placeholder for the next show that comes, which I think the next one would be Miami, right? And then Orange County, most likely.
Yes.
Yeah. So Hot Topics will continue along with Real Housewives and any other shows that we review. By the way, y'all hoes ain't even tell us which I want us to review. But anywho, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Bye, guys.